The tolling of this bell changed the lives of hundreds of people. On the 14th of April 1912 at 11:40 p.m, lookout Freddie Fleet shouted, "Iceberg, dead ahead, sir," from the crow's nest of the SS Titanic. But despite this, the Titanic struck the iceberg in the Atlantic Ocean, 453 miles southeast of the Newfoundland coast. Built in a Belfast shipyard in Ireland, the Titanic is an iconic piece of history. At the time, she was the largest ship ever built, and thanks to state-of-the-art technology used during construction, was regarded as unsinkable. In fact, at the time, Titanic was the largest moving object ever built by mankind. Her length exceeded 880 feet, and she had a beam of more than 90 feet. She had 29 boilers and could develop 50,000 horsepower that gave her a top speed of just over 22 knots. The Titanic left on her ill-fated maiden voyage on April the 11th, 1912 from Southampton in England for New York with 2,200 passengers on board. The massive and supposedly unsinkable liner was carrying wealthy elite clientele as well as immigrants hoping for a new life in America. For the wealthy, the Titanic was unsurpassed in luxury and opulence. The crowning glory was her first-class spiral stairway, decorated with oak panelling and ornate wrought iron and gilded balustrades. The stairway was topped by a huge glass dome that allowed natural light to flood the area. The staterooms, or first-class accommodation, were meticulously appointed. The second and third-class passengers had the equivalent of first class on most of the other liners of the day. Titanic struck the iceberg and eventually over 1,500 people perished, mainly from hypothermia in the -2 degrees Celsius Atlantic waters. Far too few lifeboats were fitted to Titanic, and it was inevitable that many would die should the ship sink. Only one ship was near enough to assist the Titanic, the RMS Carpathia. However, she was 4 hours steaming from the disaster zone, and this was far too late for the souls in the freezing water. But Carpathia was able to save the 706 people that had found places in the life rafts that were launched. News of the sinking reverberated around the world, and even today, the Titanic disaster fascinates scientists and history buffs and has inspired several hit movies. The long-lost wreck was rediscovered in 1985 by marine explorers Robert Ballard and Jean-Louis Michel. However, only one company is allowed to remove items from the wreck site. RMS Titanic Incorporated has carried out 9 expeditions to the watery grave of the wreck site. They have recovered and restored over 5,500 artifacts that are now found in exhibitions and museums around the world. Since the wreck's discovery, it's been photographically determined that the Titanic is rapidly deteriorating. Researchers say that deep-sea organisms are eating into what was once 45,000 tons of metal at the alarming rate of up to 600 pounds per day. In light of this, the recovery of artifacts is mostly seen as a positive step. At exhibitions, personal items such as toothbrushes, hats, combs, perfumes, letters, plates and handbags are of most interest, as they represent the last hours of the many ordinary lives that were lost on that black night in 1912 when the unsinkable ship sank.